Thank God it's Friday and welcome to the Break of Dawn Papers Review on your laughter station, 32 FM 94.9. It's the 14th day of July 2023. My name is DENIKE&GBOLABO.
And I'm Gbolabo, famous school. Good morning, Denike.
Good morning, Bolabo. Of course, we have the front pages this morning that we're going to be reviewing the headlines and as well as diving into the analysis. Our first story from the Punch newspaper. This one says National Assembly approves 819 billion naira for subsidy palliative projects. Some more stories says Dangote Cement plans new plants in Nigeria, Ghana, others. Some more stories. Service chief gets Senate's nod, vow to tackle insecurity. So the major story from the Punch, food shortage. Tinubu declares state of emergency, plans 500,000 hectares farmland. President orders year-round farming, releases fertilizers, grains to farmers, households. There's another rider to that major story. Security agents deployed to farms as federal government plans transport concessionary loans for farmers. And some more stories from the Punch. EU report. Opposition demands INEC chairman prosecution. APC fumes. Apostle Suleiman meant to be killed during attack. Suspect. That's on the red corner of the Punch. 13 Chinese nabbed for illegal mining in Kwara State. And some more stories. This one says, my heart almost stopped beating after Mahrez's goal at AFCON 2019. This is coming from Super Eagles midfielder or Etebo. And some more stories. 2 arrested for attacking Lagos man with machete. And some more stories as well. 2 injured in Lagos crash. Motorists stranded in gridlock. We'll still take a look at some more stories from the Punch newspaper. Gunmen shoot Bauchi businessman, dead. 346 killed. 18,751 displaced in Plateau in 3 months. Varsity suspends 17-year-old student arrested for robbing man of 1.5 million. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, police arraign 2 for attempted murder.
All right, we move over to Cable NG this morning. And of course, the Cable NG has quite a number of top stories. And this is saying it's ridiculous. INEC dismisses LP's call for Mahmoud Yakubu's sack. We also have this full text. Alaki's press briefing on Tinubu's plans to achieve food security. Like reps, Senate approves Tinubu's 500 billion naira request for palliatives. Obi now IPOP spokesman Simon Ekpa hits back over seat-at-home comment. We will ensure professionalism, DSS charges Emefiele to court. Tinubu declares state of emergency on food security, orders release of grains, fertilizers. And this also says supplementary budgets. National Assembly gets 70 billion naira to support new lawmakers. All right, petrol subsidy removal. Senator approves Tinubu's $800 million loan request. And of course, more stories here right on the Cable NG. Abbas, solving Nigeria's problem requires thinking outside the box. Reps panel calls for swift action against losing another territory to Cameroon. And of course, in case you're just joining us, it's still the Cable NG I'm actually looking at. And this says, knock on to pilgrims, suspension of MAX air operations would affect airlifting exercise. Is it for granotes? And that's a question mark. Articles 8 dismisses Tinubu's 8,000 naira relief plan. We are taking Nigerian back from those stifling its growth. Tinubu assures women. And of course, we take 2 more, and if that is from the business angle of the Cable NG this morning. Nigerians to pay more as UK announces hike in visa fees, health surcharge. And the last one here says, Tinubu declares state of emergency. All right, we had that already. And that's about it from the Cable NG.
All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. This one says Senate okays Tinubu's $800 million loan, 500 billion naira palliative request. Court dismisses Kanu's suit against DSS, others. And some more stories. Naira sustains recovery at 746 naira to $1 in official market. Support Tinubu's policies for socio-economic recovery. Onje urges NANS. Updated DSS charges Emefiele to court. And breaking, Tinubu declares state of emergency on food security. Senate okays Tinubu's, all right, I've taken that one before. Court dismisses Kanu's suit against DSS. Others, we're taking Nigeria back from saboteurs. Tinubu. House approves Tinubu's request for palliatives. And we take some more stories from the Nation. Kanayo on arguably a legend. This is coming from Junior Pope. And that's, of course, from the entertainment side of the Nation. And finally, Akpabio urges Scrabble Federation to win World Championship.
All right, now to the Vanguard front page this morning. There are also a number of headlines there right on the front page of the Vanguard. Opera as Senate okays fresh $800 million World Bank borrowing. And this says Army Chief orders troops to counter sit-at-home enforcers. Emefiele has been charged to court. The DSS is making that clear. And all the latest news here on the Vanguard. Convoy attack. How we trailed plotted to assassinate Apostle Sulaiman. As according to a suspect here, right, 2 KFC staff arrested over death of colleague. Tinubu and boarding of ministerial list by Azu Ishekwene. And more stories here right here on the Vanguard. E-Naira, CBN denies competing with banks. Preserving Senegal's stolen democracy is also part of the latest news here. Naira appreciates to 746.28 cents per dollars in I&E window. Okay, more stories. Onward Western soldiers marching to Third World War by Owe Lakenfa. And this also says Nigerian secured remains insecure Nigeria by Adekunle Adekoya. Met some matters arising. Okay, and more story. EKEDC partners electron energy on 30 megawatts embedded IPP in Lagos. And let's look at more latest news on the Vanguard this morning. Okay, and this is talking about Apostle Sulaiman. We had that much earlier. And of course, let's see if we could get some couple more. Abbas leading people-oriented parliament. Rep Agbese is coming up with that. CIBN boss charges risk managers on safeguards on digital era. And I'm afraid that's about it coming from the Vanguard this morning.
All right, to the Daily Post newspaper, DSS bows to court order, charges Emefiele. Tinubu declares state of emergency on food security. That's a headline from so many other front pages as well. Senate confirms service chiefs, and service chiefs arrive NAS for Senate confirmation. 500 billion naira for palliatives. Reps grant Tinubu's request within 24 hours. Judge orders DSS to arraign Emefiele in 1 week. Ohanese faction announces $500,000 bounty on Ekpa. Accuses him of causing war in Southeast. Dokubo's outburst, federal government silence triggers concerns. And I think that's the much to take from the Daily Post paper.
All right, we'll go on our first break right about now. And of course, we'll be back very shortly.
FM 94.9.
Tí o bá wà lórí nẹ́tíwọ́ọ̀kì àrídájú, ìyẹn Naija Confirm wo ẹ̀bùn 1,000 naira ń dúró dè ọ́. O tún ní àǹfààní láti gba èlé ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rún lórí èyíkéyìí rìsáàjì tí o bá ṣe. Àníkún dátà lọ́nà 100 fún oṣù 6 àti ìlọ́po méjì dátà lórí rìsáàjì àkọ́kọ́ rẹ ní oṣù òpó. Ìyẹn gangan ni Nine Confirm látọ̀dọ̀ Nine Mobile tí ó yọrantí. Ra síìmù tuntun lónìí tàbí kí o tẹ *1400# lórí ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká rẹ. Nine Mobile wà níbí fún ọ, wà níbí fún Naija.
Naija, the excitement is back. You voted for your best teams. They clashed in the playoffs, and now it's all on the pitch as 8 finalists go head-to-head in the Naija Super 8 tournament in Lagos. Watch Remo Stars, Katsina United, Enyimba, Sporting Lagos, Aqua United, Yobe Stars, Rivers United, and Lobby Stars as they compete for the grand prize of 25 million naira. Who will fulfill their destiny? Which team will win the Naija Super 8 at Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon, Lagos? Watch live in HD on Super Sport Football. Tournament is from the 7th to the 16th of July. Get and stay connected to DSTV. Naija Super 8. Football is home.
This is what it sounds like when you mindlessly munch away at your snacks. boring, dull, routine snacking. And this is what it sounds like when snacking is loud, proud, gooey, chewy, playful, joyful, and all-round fun. Because when joyless snacking attacks, we'll be there to fight back. Snack out loud with Fanta.
I'm living the life cause I get to ZT. Hey! Kọ́ńbù ẹ̀kú àlejò imú gbòǹgbò ọ̀nà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀. Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited. Pẹ̀lú Tizeti, ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní Yàwàlù. Torí pé gbajúgbajà ní iléeṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited. Nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti olókoòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti. Ẹ lè browse, kẹ́ stream, kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data. Máa ṣeré ìwọ ni kò má sọ̀fànù 12,500 naira péré lẹ́ẹ̀fi jẹ mùlá data fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo ẹ sì lè pe 01-2298-786 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng ayélujára ní Yàwàlù.
Titi, I'm leaving now. Make sure you use this hypo bleach sachet to wash all the clothes, clean the bathroom, mop the floors, and
Mommy, one sachet for all this plenty work?
Yes, sir. Introducing the Hypo Bleach 200 ml bigger sachet, the bigger sachet you've been waiting for. Now you can do more disinfecting, whitening, and cleaning for just 100 naira.
Bigger 200 ml hypo sachet to do more housework.
Hypo. Get ready for an African cinematic extravaganza like never before on Africa Magic. After 30 years, Ripples is back. Ripples, the new generation, showing Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase.
You don't know me. You don't know my story.
Discover the truth in the hidden, showing Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase, followed by Crime and Justice Lagos at 9 p.m. Will Shaka Zulu become king in Shaka Ilembe? Showing Sundays at 10 p.m. on Africa Magic Urban and Showcase. Experience love unfolding in the new dating reality show, What Will People Say? Every Friday at 9 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase and Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. on Africa Magic Urban. Stay connected to DSTV for the best local stories the way you like it. Only on Africa Magic. DSTV. It's your moment.
We are all gathered here today to witness the joining of all 32 of you in blissful matrimony to Glow MiFi and Router. Do you, Wi-Fi enabled devices, take this Glow MiFi and Router as your lawful data plug?
Yes, we do.
Do you, Glow MiFi and Router, promise to be there in good times and in Sakba?
Yes, we do.
Now you may stay connected.
Enjoy a connected life with Glow MiFi and Router. Get 60 gigabytes data bonus when you buy a Glow MiFi and 180 gigabytes data bonus when you buy a Glow Router. And connect up to 32 Wi-Fi enabled devices. Available at Glow World shops nationwide.
Glow Unlimited.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It On People's Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we'll delve into the analysis right about now. We have Professor Olu Ojedokun with us in the studios. Good morning, Prof.
Top of the day to you.
All right, Prof, let's talk about this one. It's the major story from the front page of the Punch, and other papers have actually touched on it as well. Tinubu declares state of emergency on food security. Now, according to this, the president has declared an emergency of food security. He has also approved that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the NSC, that's the National Security Council. He also said that there should be an immediate release of fertilizers, grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of subsidy removal. BAT is obviously taking steps, according to this headline, to mitigate a food crisis. But is it just enough to release fertilizers and grains to farmers and households? Because some things are cause for concern. How do you ensure that it gets to the right hands? What about securing lives and properties? Because we've had situations where farmers cannot go to their farms to farm in peace because of some unscrupulous elements. So what other steps, or what are the things that you think about all of this?
Well, I just start that it's, let's say it's a good start. And in fact, without boasting, it's one of the things that we had analyzed on this program. And one of the things we had analyzed, of course, was that they needed to release from the strategic grains reserve. As to how they get to the people concerned, I think we just have to start, and they have to use their existing channels. There's no doubt that some of them will go astray, but I think the government has to start, because the vast majority of people need food, and they need help, and they need support, and we can't allow the fact that it may go astray, not for the government not to do anything. I think it's a wise decision to put it under the purview of the National Security Council or National Security ambit, because it then means that we could use the infrastructure of the military and the infrastructure of the security to deliver these things as at when. What is quite clear is that food is beyond the reach of many people today. You need to deal, of course, with food security in parts of the country, and this food insecurity is caused primarily by some of the banditry and some of the terrorism that is going on at the moment. But give it to him. He's taking the right steps. There might be baby steps, but he's taking the right steps.
All right, and the social safety net program itself, I'm a little bit perturbed because of the hastiness of the National Assembly in all of this. I don't know if this is for the interest of the simple majority or the minority, or will I call them the downtrodden in the society. $800 million loan request by Tinubu has been quickly granted by the National Assembly, talking about the Senate. Also, likewise, the House of Representatives did the same. And now it's jet towards palliatives, 8,000 naira for about 12 million families. I don't know how that is going to work, because we did condemn what appears to be the social register of the Buhari government to say that how do you identify the poorest of the poor? And now this is another reality that is right on our faces. What do we call this, Prof?
Well, the government is really trying their best to find the best way to deliver relief to people. And unfortunately, we haven't really got the social infrastructure. We haven't really got the adequate database. We haven't. And I think the government is struggling from that point of view. But the question you have to ask is that will 8,000 move the needle? There are some people arguing that it's a waste of resources. But I argue, I have somebody, that I know. It costs the person 30,000 a month to get to work, 1,000 a day. When the person earns 30,000. Of course, 8,000 will make a difference to that person. So there are certain people that this will make a difference to. Many people, it may not make a difference. But you have to ask the question, is that the best way? Some people are saying you put this money into infrastructure. Well, that's long term. Immediately, Nigerians need relief. I think the government should do more, and they will do more. As to the $800 million, already the government has committed itself before this government. And I think Tinubu is just building upon what Buhari did. I don't know whether they scrutinize these things in the National Assembly.
But is it sustainable? That's the question.
No, it's not sustainable, but at least they pay
8,000 naira. I'm wondering in my head, what can that buy? Even for the analysis that you made, that somebody making 30,000 naira and of course 1,000 naira to work in a month, 30,000 naira, he needs that money. But how does this money get to that man? How do we know that this monies will not end up in the hands of the unscrupulous individuals?
We cannot be sure. We cannot be certain. But the government at the same time cannot fold its hands. You see, the point of the 8,000 is that when you have money in the hands of people, it's also a way of stimulating the economy. Some might say it's too little to stimulate the economy or whatever it is, but something has to be done. Should we reduce the number of people, because it says 12 million? Is it 12 million people?
12 million people. 12 million households. That's kind of also another. Are you saying a family of 6 would get 8 million naira? 8,000 naira if they are the poorest of the poor?
Well, I would expect this will be on top of many other activities, dealing with food insecurity or dealing with the tax code and ensuring that tax is broadened so that tax allowances are broadened so that people have more money in their pocket. I want to see this as a blend. I want to see this as one of the menu of initiatives by the government. It cannot rest just on 8,000. If it's just on the 8,000, then it won't work.
Do we just say palliatives is a scam? Because we've been hearing this word.
No, it has been
for a long time.
No, it has been. I don't think we can argue with that. It has been in the past. But does it have to be? No, it doesn't have to be. And that's why the government still has to do more work to decide or to discover or to establish the best way to get relief to the people. Do people need relief? Do people need support? Absolutely, they need relief and they need support. But if I sit here as an analyst and say I know the way forward, I still don't know the way forward. But I know that the tax system has to be broadened. I know that VAT has to be excluded from some products, and I think the government is doing that. And I know there has to be some kind of help with fuel subsidy of some sort, not the kind of fuel subsidy we had before, but some strategic parts of the industry like transport and so on, so that transport becomes cheaper. If they're going to put buses, if they're going to put vouchers, let them do it. But things need to be done to help people.
All right, the Department of State Services, DSS, says it has charged Godwin Emefiele, suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, to court. The secret police said this in response to the order of a high court of the Federal Capital Territory that Emefiele should be released within 7 days or charged to court immediately. What do you think has been going on here? Do you think there's maybe some sort of hanky-panky, some intentional withholding in all of this?
I suspect that the reason why they said it's been charged because the court had told them, charge this man. You can't keep on holding him. You know, it's unconstitutional. You don't hold people for more than 48 hours, you understand, without charging them, even if it's on grounds of national security. And I think they had to say that he had been charged. Nobody has seen this charge sheet. Nobody knows what he's being charged for. So it is right for you to ask the question whether there are hanky-panky going on. I think the DSS should just follow the law. If the man has committed any crimes, perfect the charge sheet and charge him. And if you don't have the charge sheet ready, release him on bail. While you perfect it and perfect the investigation, strict conditions of bail can be enforced so that the man is precluded from traveling, from areas where he's supposed to reside. So all this idea of just putting people in the gulag, we are not a military regime, you understand? We are a democracy, charge the man. So let's wait for the 7 days. They said he's been charged, but nobody has seen the charge sheet. Nobody knows the court, So, I find that a bit implausible.
Now, let's also look at this. President Tinubu had on Monday dissolved 156 boards of parastatals of federal government agencies. And now it appears to be like an olive leaf, or will I say olive tree, to the opposition parties to also have their candidates for some of these boards. And now we also have Labour Party saying that extending this gesture of offer to the governors to nominate individuals who are also part of PDP and, of course, Labour Party is a way of trying to say they are buying them over and is a gimmick, especially coming from the Labour Party, and they will not accept that. Now we're looking at a government of political unity at the cabinet level of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why is it difficult for the opposition to actually key into this? Because you're saying they still have a case in court.
They have a case in court, and the case will go on for some time. But let's be very clear. There's a difference between ministerial appointments and board appointments. They're two different things. So, for instance, if a Labour Party member who is competent is suddenly asked to become the chairman of the governing council of University XYZ, you understand? And I said, oh, no, I'm not going to be the chairman of that council. Oh, because there's this case in court and because Tinubu did shenanigans with the election. I think that would be the wrong thing to do. I think there are some technocratic positions. I think there's some positions which doesn't mean you're supporting the government, but you're serving the people. So I think they should stop being juvenile and infantile about this whole thing. If they appoint them to board appointments and so on, they should accept it. But ministerial positions are completely different. And I think we should give kudos to Tinubu. People know where I stand with him, you understand? But when the man does right, we should give him kudos to him. The man wants a government of all talents. And as far as I'm concerned, Labour Party members are Nigerians. PDP members are Nigerians. Even people in Showore's party are Nigerians. So why should they not be entitled or have the opportunity to serve Nigeria, even if it's not at the highest office?
Is that not indirectly accepting defeat for them?
No. If you're appointed to a board appointment, it doesn't necessarily mean so. But if you are, obviously, cabinet positions may be different, from that point of view. I think for some of them, you might be accepting some reality that in the history of Nigeria, no tribunal, no court has ever overturned the presidential election. I'm not saying it wouldn't do in this instance, but the chances are like this. The chances are like this. They could see my hand. They're just like this. The chances of it happening. And if it happens, you understand, you can be reappointed to another board. It doesn't mean you have to leave that position.
All right, so let's take a look at this story from the Daily Post Nigeria. Ohaneze faction announces $500,000 bounty on Ekpa, accuses him of causing war in the southeast. Now, the editorial also says, according to a statement by the Ohanese's Secretary General, Okechukwu, I don't want to murder the name. This one says, according to him, it says, we're telling Tinubu that the second Biafra war has begun and he should deploy soldiers to all the nooks and crannies of the southeast. And of course, it goes on. And apparently, with everything that's happening, do you think that this, this particular method would be able to quell the crisis that is currently happening in the southeast?
No, they're certainly raising the stakes, and I'm not sure it's going to be productive in that sense. But what is clear is that ECBA has been causing havoc from the safety, you understand, of Sweden. I think that's where he's safely ensconced. And I think that's a cowardly approach. You know, it's very easy to go abroad, you know, to and Japan and be causing all sorts. The $500,000 is very, very interesting. And I hope it's not going to lead to some kind of terrorism where they're going to try to put him in a box and try to bring him to Nigeria. You know, so I don't know how realistic that is. But I think the stakes are being raised. And of course, inviting the military to do their job raises the stakes. And I think the IPOB members really have to consider, you know, what they want to do. Do they really want war there? Or do they really want peace? You know, and the government has to also think about it. Is there a way we can also use this opportunity to intervene politically? People have suggested that if the IPOB leader, what's his name, Nnamdi Kanu, is released from prison, if it's negotiated release, that it might bring some level of peace, taking out the sting out of IPOB. But I'm not sure that this federal government at this stage is ready or prepared for that.
All right, before we take another break, NCAA suspend Mass Air's Boeing 737 aircraft over safety concerns. And of course, our aviation sector has been on the front line for a very long time. And we do remember in the past that we've had a number of crashes. Now, the NCAA is saying, as a matter of fact, that safety precautions had to be taken. Now, how much more do we ensure that we do not invite politics into the aviation sector? Because we knew what went on with Nigerian Air. And of course, Mass Air appears to be on the radar of the NCAA now. How do we really guarantee some sort of safety within our airlines? And of course, you're saying that they lost a number one main landing gear and fuel contamination as part of the reasons for the suspension.
I think it is right that they're overcautious. It is right that they suspend when they suspect, because accidents in the air, you understand, could be very, very tragic. And of course, I remember, you two remember, that particularly in the 90s to the early 2000s, there were so many tragic incidents from that point of view. I think they're doing what they should do, which is anytime they suspect that safety is compromised or maintenance is compromised, then you shut it down. I don't think there's any room for sentiment when you're flying, you understand, because the life of so many people are in the hands of the pilot and so on and so forth. So I think give it to them. They will review it, of course, and if they basis for appeal, I'm sure they will appeal, but I think they're doing the right thing and we should encourage them.
All right, we'll go on our next commercial break. I beg your pardon. When we return, we'll open the phone lines to take your reactions. Just stay with us.
FM 94.9.
Tí o bá wà lórí nẹ́tíwọ́kì àrídájú, ìyẹn Naija confam wo ẹ̀bùn $1,000 ń dúró dè ọ́ o. O tún ní àǹfààní láti gba èlé $500 lórí èyíkéyìí rìsáàjì tí o bá ṣe. Àníkún dátà lọ́nà 100 fún oṣù 6 àti ìlọ́po 2 dátà lórí rìsáàjì àkọ́kọ́ rẹ ní oṣù òpó. Ìyẹn gangan ni Nine confam látọ̀dọ̀ Nine Mobile tí ó yọrantí. Ra síìmù tuntun lónìí tàbí kí o tẹ *1400# lórí ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká rẹ. Nine Mobile wà níbí fún ọ, wà níbí fún Naija.
Naija, the excitement is back. You voted for your best teams. They clashed in the playoffs, and now it's all on the pitch as 8 finalists go head-to-head in the Naija Super 8 tournament in Lagos. Watch Remo Stars, Katsina United, Enyimba, Sporting Lagos, Aqua United, Yobe Stars, Rivers United, and Lobby Stars as they compete for the grand prize of 25 million naira. Who will fulfill their destiny? Which team will win the Naija Super 8 at Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon, Lagos? Watch live in HD on Super Sport Football football. Tournament is from the 7th to the 16th of July. Get and stay connected to DSTV. Niger Super 8. Football is home.
It's here again! Christ Apostolic Church Okeado DCC Headquarters presents Oso Summit 2023, a yearly power revival that surely the Lord is in this place and I knew it not. Genesis chapter 28 verse 16b, coming up from the 15th June to 28th July 2023 by 5 p.m. daily at the church auditorium, where great ministers of God like Prophet Oluwalonimi Ojo David, Prophet Kehinde Adio from Lagos, Prophet Dr. Samuel Olukosi from Ofa, and the General Evangelist of Christ Apostolic Church Nigeria and overseas, Prophet Ezekiah Oluboyo Oladeji, shall be ministering to all and sundry through the power of the Lord Jesus Christ. Are you downcast? Are your business is not moving forward? Your children are not breaking through? Pastor Dr. G.S. Dada de Okeado DCC Superintendent says, come and you shall truly and surely be liberated. Pastor Eso Oladele, President CS Nigeria and overseas. Jesus Christ is the Lord. Is the Lord. Is the Lord.
John, what's up? Check your phone. I just send you Momo referral. My mama don't run that one for me since now. Me say for the find who I go refer, make a quick hammer my million.
Hey! You too fit be one of the 12 millionaires for the Momo Refer and Win promo. To win, dial star 671 hash to sharply open your Momo account and select option 6 to refer family and friends them. After that, make sure say them open Momo account and use them recharge airtime or data at least 100 naira. Chicken, the more people where you refer, the more you go win. If you not see out of 12 million naira every week, you fit chop out of 25 million naira.
Momo Refer and Win promo. The more you refer, the more you win. Promo go run from June 15 till August 9, 2023. Terms and conditions they shall.
There you are, riding in silence, both deep in thought. I bet you the driver think this ride shouldn't cost more, and you the passenger are sure you're overpaying. Never mind, let's just stay quiet. Or you can both download InDrive and agree on a fair price beforehand. InDrive. People driven. The InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator is not a taxi service. For more information, visit indrive.com.
Titi, I'm leaving now. Make sure you use this hypo bleach sachet to wash all the clothes, clean the bathroom, mop the floors, and
Mommy, one sachet for all this plenty work?
Yes, sir. Introducing the Hypo Bleach 200 ml bigger sachet. The bigger sachet you've been waiting for. Now you can do more disinfecting, whitening, and cleaning for just 100 naira.
Bigger 200 ml hypo sachet to do more housework.
We are all gathered here today to witness the joining of all 32 of you in blissful matrimony to Glow MiFi and Router. Do you, Wi-Fi enabled devices, take this Glow MiFi and Router as your lawful data plug?
Yes, we do!
Do you, Glow MiFi and Router, promise to be there in good times and in Sakba?
Yes, we do!
Now you may stay connected.
Enjoy a connected life with Glow MiFi and Router. Get 60 gigabytes data bonus when you buy a Glow MiFi and 180 gigabytes data bonus when you buy a Glow Router. And connect up to 32 Wi-Fi enabled devices. Available at Glow World shops nationwide.
Glow Unlimited.
32 FM
94.9.
All right, we open the phone lines 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949. Our Facebook is 32FM 949 Ibadan too. Of course, share your thoughts and your reactions on the show this morning. We have a couple of comments, and this one says by Omo Bashar Abiola says, beautiful morning to everyone in the studio. Bolabo, Denike and Professor Jedoko. Approval of 500 billion naira for palliative to cushion effect of fuel subsidy removal by National Assembly is a welcome development. I'm appealing to Mr. President to use it judiciously by sending the money to poor Nigerians' account through their BVN. All right, 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949. We'll just take some more comments on Facebook.
All right, we take this from Balkis on Odiro. When considering the impact of the Naira redesign by Mefele and Buhari on Nigeria's economy, there is a sense of frustration and anger in me. However, it is important to assess whether this approach has brought any positive changes to the economy or contributed to reducing inflation. Regrettably, the actions taken by Emefiele have resulted in adverse consequences, and I believe he deserves the detention he's in.
All right, we'll take some more comments. Kedi Ramabatune says, Naira we appreciate only if we are productive. If we're a productive country rather than consuming nation. So many natural resources in the country, from crude oil, uranium, copper, gold, etc. You begin to ask why we're suffering in this country. We need total reform such that all these resources will be for the citizens, not few selected greedy ones. 0705 5949 and 0809 7949.
All right, Prof, I also wanted you to react to this Emefiele's detention by the DSS. Now, it appears that Nigerians are even having mixed feelings with this detention, and of course the court has yet to actually take a drastic step. They've said that he must be charged. What do we make out of this?
Well, I think the government obviously is investigating him. I obviously think that they suspect he's involved in economic sabotage and some security concerns, of course. And I think they need time to investigate. And they feel that if he's released, it will tamper with the investigation. But I don't think that's enough justification to keep him under the lock and key without being charged. I think the government is getting it wrong. I think the DSS have the tendency to be draconian. And I think it's only the courts that can, checks and balances and check the excesses of the DSS. If the DSS has a charge against him, let us know the charge him to court, and of course he will apply for bail, and the bail can be given or denied by the court. So I think within the next 7 days the court has asked them to charge him, and I hope that this charging that they said they've done, we will see the charge sheet, or we will know what is going on with Emefiele. But as Emefiele, I don't think he's whiter than white. There's no doubt about that. He's not whiter than white, but let him go through the normal and due process. You know that even God Almighty gave Adam and Eve a chance to hear what they were up to, all the hanky-panky, before he did pass judgment. So Emefiele should go through the same process.
Labour Party has called for the sack of Yakubu. That's the former INEC chairman, and is it former now? The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. 0705 5949. What do you make of this one? Because there have been, INEC has retorted saying you cannot call for Yakubu's sack and all of that. So what do you make of this?
I think they can call for a sack if they choose to. But the point about it is that I think they should be patient to see what the tribunal actually says. They are through a process at the moment. INEC obviously is under scrutiny. And I think it's a rush to judgment. That's my view. Let's see what the tribunal says. Let's see what the recommendation of the tribunal. Then I think they can renew their call for the sack or otherwise of Yakubu. But it's quite clear that Yakubu has lost confidence of a very significant sector of the population.
All right, okay, Diran Babatune on Facebook says Nigerian students in foreign countries are equally complaining over payment of school fees because of the exchange rate. Nigeria government should come to their aids. We are the ones sustaining these foreign countries because we enhance their economy at the detriment of Nigeria. Imagine how Nigerians are shipping to foreign countries paying visa application. Prof, do you want to react to that particular one?
Yeah, 1.9 billion is what Nigerian students are contributing to the British economy in terms of fees and all sorts of things. So, of course, we make a significant contribution, but let's not deceive ourselves and say we are the ones sustaining them. We're not sustaining them. You understand? We are contributing there. All that contribution could make more meaningful if it's in Nigeria. But the fact of it is that people want a better life, people want better education, they want power, they want infrastructure, they want all those things that you and I also want. And that's why they're jacked by it. And except the government here is able to meet them at that level, a lot of people will continue to see their hope and their future elsewhere rather than in this country.
All right, the numbers again are 070-55,949 or 080-97,949. I just hope that we're not having technical glitches here with the phone lines. And this is +234 90 62,949 for our international audience. All right, I guess we go over again to Facebook and take more comments. And this is from Timothy Okorie. Says palliative in Nigeria has always been a scam. This one won't be exception. Tinubu has started from where Buhari stopped. Please, what can 8,000 do in an individual's life, let alone the entire family in this extraordinary inflationary period? For me, it's a cost, and I refuse to be beneficiary of it, as well as my friends and well-wishers. Please, Prof, don't be dodgy in your analysis. Tell the truth. nothing will happen to you. All right.
Nothing will happen to me. I don't have any concern or any fear that anything will happen. I think we have to be very balanced in what we say and what we do. You know, when we are talking about the palliatives, what I've said is that it has to be one intervention, not the only intervention. And if this is done in combination as a blend of many interventions, then of course it can make sense. But if it's the only intervention, then there's a problem. And that's what I'm saying. If he has been following me, we'll see that I've talked about expanding the tax code and showing that VAT on items that people spend on is removed. Food insecurity is sorted out through the strategic grains reserve released. A number of things. So I would prefer that it's balanced and look at the number of things that I'm mentioning.
All right, we might be having some issues with the phone lines, but please keep trying. 0705 5949 and 0829 7949. Omotayo Luarutimi says there has never been any money that APC has ever promised to the masses that has ever gotten to the people. Ogbeni Odemi says, well done. Good morning from Muslim. Please help me call Oyo State government on my road from Ayetoro to Egbeda. This road is not good. All right, we hope that the appropriate people are definitely listening. All right, so just take some more comments. Sulaiman Sharif.
Okay, before we actually go into that, I want Prof to quickly react to this. EFCC arrests 13 Chinese nationals who are alleged illegal mining activities in Kwara. Now, I don't know how these people infiltrated us to that extent that they are now mining illegally. So it means that even if anyone wants to come from somewhere and plant bomb and kill the whole of the country, we wouldn't have known. What is wrong with our intelligence in this country?
But this has been going on for a while, even in Zamfara, even in Elisha. So I think it's been going on. And I think we must give kudos that at least some people have now been arrested and identified. Of course, our intelligence is porous. Of course, our intelligence is dodgy, to borrow from the expression that somebody just used. It is dodgy because we don't seem to get these criminals or these saboteurs before they commit the act. We only get them after they act. And proper intelligence means that you stop many of these things from happening before they happen. Let's hope that an example is made out of these 13 Chinese nationals and that it sends an unmistakable message to people that you can't come into this country and commit illegality and think you can get away with it.
All right, Sulaiman Sharif on Facebook says, good morning, 32 FM crew and our reliable prof. To distribute 8,000 naira to the 12 million poor household for complete 6 months is not the best solution. We can't continue doing the same thing in the same way. What is the positive outcome of traders' money, conditional cash transfer, etc.? The federal government of today should fix our power energy, which is the backbone of the economy, and stabilize the Nigeria's economy that will favor the masses.
All right, 0705 5949 and 0809 7949. Akidere Babatino response says they are not mining illegally. Government knew about it. They're collaborating with them on those allegations. Right. All right, I think it's time for us to leave. Thank you so much, dear listener, for staying tuned. Thank you, Professor Oluojedokun, as well. I am Adenike Adimowago.
And I'm Golabo, famous school. Bye for now.